Todd Talks.
You know, I used to talk a lot about finding your passion, which I think is still super important. So we're in this life right now, right? You're alive, I'm alive, we're all alive. We all get to hopefully we're in a position where we get to choose our happiness. We get to choose the things we want to engage in, choose the things that we want to do in life. Sometimes we're in a position where we're in a how do I say this, position of circumstance. So let's say, for example, your family's having troubles, your siblings or your kids or whatever, somebody in your family's having troubles. You're in a position where you can choose to help or choose not to help, but you always have the choice. And what I mean by a position of circumstance is that, you know, I don't know. Let me think of an example. Like if you're in a car accident, you're in a position of circumstance, right? You have the circumstance, something happened, and sometimes it's very unfortunate and it's frustrating and it's painful and scary and all that kind of stuff. That's a different category. I'll talk about that one later. What I want to focus on here is some wisdom on finding passion in life. And I'm not talking about like finding passion, things that make you feel good in the moment. I'm not talking about quick highs. I'm not talking about, getting drunk or, jumping out of a plane because you're a junkie for adrenaline, things like that. Although there's nothing wrong with jumping out of planes. I've done that. But more on that later. I'm talking about work-related stuff specifically, or what's my meaning in life? What am I supposed to be doing in life? And finding your passion is actually kind of easy because it's stuff that you enjoy. So I might say to you, think about or write down right now, pause this or after you're done or whatever, or even right now, just think about it. The three things in life, three things that you just love, like off the top of your head, things that bring you happiness, and just think about it for a second. For me, it's like, obviously creative art, design, things like that. I love doing that. I love airplanes, flying, all that kind of stuff. And I love outdoors and nature. Okay, so those off the top of my head. So if you do that, if you focus on things that mean something to you, you start to realize, well, you know what? Happiness in life is like doing what you love and loving what you do. Yes, that's true. There's no doubt about that. And I was recently at a graveyard, or went by a graveyard, and I was thinking to myself, looking at those people that are in the ground, or they're not people anymore, they're bodies that are in the ground, that they once lived a life. And I think to myself, well, do I want to be the richest person in the ground? Or do I want to be remembered as the nicest person in the ground? In other words, if I go to the graveyard and I see my grandfather's grave, I don't look in the grave and say, wow, how much money did he make? Or did he do something he was passionate about? I look at it upon, wow, was he, the greatest grandfather ever, all the things he did as a grandfather, right? I want to focus on that with all of us. And so finding our passion is really important, finding things that we're really good at, that we enjoy. And it usually involves participating in sharing that with the rest of the world somehow, right? It's not always a selfish journey. Like, I do this because I love it and I want to be happy, which is fine, but it usually involves somebody else. So addressing that passion is important. But here's the key. This is what I wanted to kind of notate today for this quick little recording. And that is that you can find passion. You can create passion with just about anything you do. So if you're doing a job or a task that might not be so terribly exciting, but you could choose to say, hey, I'm going to be passionate about this. I think that's a real important, a real important distinction, because a lot of times, I know a lot of people, myself included, who do things that I'm good at, that I'd say, oh, brings joy and happiness to my heart, right? But that doesn't always last all the time. That's just not how life works. There are going to be bad moments. So what happens when you have a bad day, or you're in a situation where You're doing what you love, you're passionate, even in a relationship, right? And in the romantic phase of a relationship, beautiful. And then you enter the next phase of the relationship. Well, it's like that in work too. It's or doing stuff, your hobbies. That sometimes you get past that honeymoon phase, and then you start getting into the next phase where you're really starting to hammer down, and really trying to focus in on the work, on the stuff you're doing. And that takes discipline. And that's where this comes in, where you can choose to be passionate about it. And it's not always going to be passion, right? You're going to have sometimes where it's like, I just don't feel like doing this today. It's like just some days that happens, but you can always choose to be passionate about something. So here's the deal. Here's what I think is finding things in life that you're passionate about, because life is short. You don't want to waste time, right? We don't want to waste any time, because life is not all that long for us. We need to enjoy our lives. We need to contribute to the world, to life in general, right? So therefore, we're born, we're created with certain abilities and likes and loves, in some cases, things we love doing. We're born with that. And we need to focus on that, because that's a natural occurring thing that our bodies and our minds and our spirits give to us. We're given that ability to say, hey, I love this. I really love this. I really want to do this. I really enjoy doing this. Follow that. But then don't forget about the choice to be passionate about something, right? Because that can be something as simple as, for example, I actually like yard work. I like doing yard work. But what happens over time when you own a home, or you're fortunate enough to have a home in a yard, and again, you notice how I just said that, right? We always have that choice. We can feel grateful for it or not. And if you do, and you say, "Oh, I love yard work and such," it can get kind of tedious sometimes. There are times in life where it gets stressful. You're busy, or you don't feel well, or whatever the excuse is. You could lose your passion. But that's what I'm focusing on right now is, whatever it is you're passionate about, whatever job your focus is, or any time in life, right? Because you might be at a point too where you're burned out, you want to try something else out. That's great. That's awesome. That's the spice of life, variety, right? But no matter what, you can always tap into that amazing ability and power to be passionate about what it is you're doing. If you're cooking, be passionate about cooking. If you're creating a piece of art or drawing, or a graphic design project or whatever, you can apply your passion behind it. It's kind of like in the martial arts, when you go to attack, when you go to defend, when you go to do a judo throw or tai chi movement, you always have to apply your intention. Yeah, you want to apply your intention into whatever it is you're doing, and that's passion. And that's what I want to get across today. So give that some thought today. Make that your thought of the day, where you're applying your passion. You're applying that energy inside of you. Your intention I intend to be passionate about something. I intend to be grateful. I intend to be appreciative about something. And you can apply that to anything on top of doing things in life that you're very passionate about. Let's pretend you don't have long to live. All right. And it's like a race. What do you want to be doing? Don't waste your time doing things you don't enjoy. Find things you love to do. Follow those things. But then when you follow those things, you have to maintain an attitude of gratitude. And you're wise to do that. So do what you love what you do, change if you need to change, but tap into that application, that principle of being passionate, choosing to be passionate, choosing to be involved in what you're doing, and see how it reshapes your day, it reshapes your position, or whatever it is you're doing today. Every single thing. Try to imagine yourself enjoying it, being passionate about it, and see how that changes your relationship with everything you do in life. I'm Todd, a lifetime artist and passionate creative professional with over 30 years of incredible experience. A wellness, martial arts, Zen, and spiritual teacher, imaginative entrepreneur, and honored husband, father, and grandfather. I'm driven to helping others achieve their personal, professional, and spiritual best. You can find me online at toddszen.com or mitchellcreativegroup.com. Thank you.